Hi, today we're looking at California Assembly Bill 241, also known as the Domestic Workers Bill of Rights, and the effect that it's having on the home care industry at large for clients and for caregivers. First thing, let's talk about what happened and what was the case before this law was passed. Prior to this point, there's been an exemption in the law when it comes to caregivers working in the home where they're not subject to overtime laws, meal breaks and things like that because of the nature of working in a home where there's a lot of downtime inherent to the job. It's not like working in an office or in a factory or something like that. So there hasn't been overtime charge, and that's made it fairly affordable for families who need this type of care. With this law's passage, now what we see is the caregivers have to be paid overtime for any hours worked over 9 hours in a day or 45 hours in a week, and that overtime is paid at time and 1/2. So you can imagine this is raising costs considerably. What that also means is that what has been traditionally called live-in care, or where a caregiver is there for a full 24-hour period, that up to this point has been a very affordable option because caregivers are paid a flat rate for the time, there's an understood amount of downtime, and unfortunately, as it stands, that has been done away with. Now caregivers, instead of being paid a flat rate for the day, have to be paid on an hourly basis that takes into account this overtime. The concern we have is that even though this bill was designed to help caregivers, in practice and in reality, it has done a lot to hurt caregivers. One of the reasons for that is clients who up to this point have stretched and been able to have this type of care in the home can no longer afford it. Maybe they had 12 hours of care before, but because of this overtime requirement, can only afford 8 or 10. And so that's limiting the amount of work that caregivers have available and also limiting the amount of care that a client can receive. Another thing that we're finding is with live-in care, it's gotten so much higher that families are looking and saying we can't afford the increase, which in some cases has been 50 to 60% of an increase in price because of the new wage costs. And so they're having to move their loved one prematurely into a nursing facility, which is unfortunate because the reason people use home care is so that they can remain and be cared for in place in their home that maybe they lived in for 30, 40, 50 years. And so it's unfortunate that the very people this was designed to help, it hasn't really done so. This is the new reality for our industry in our state. And it's unfortunate that it hasn't been implemented in a way that considers all of these different aspects, the affordability for families and also caregivers maintaining their jobs. And so we hope that as new laws come out, they proceed a little bit more carefully and thoughtfully. I hope this has fleshed some of this out for you and answered some of your questions. If we can be a resource for you, you're welcome to visit our website, contact our office. And again, thank you for watching. Yeah, it doesn't help caregivers. Whoa. Mom doesn't want to go to a nursing home. Did I just click my keys? This is what happens when I have keys in my pocket. These lights are so bright, and I feel like I'm staring into the sun.